While breath in me, what's left in me will always be the best of me. May God stay blessing me, may fake niggas rest in peace. Stay cooking up this good, well, I guess I got the recipe. What's going on, guys? It's Al B. I just wanted to take a few minutes to show y'all how I came up with this track titled Saved, featuring myself and Wells. The first thing that I'm starting out with was just a sample I had come across doing some digging, I guess crate digging if you will, and this is the sample by itself with no effect, just raw.
Ooh, oh yeah.
So I took that effect right there, and that was the basis of what you're going to hear throughout the production underneath it. But I did add some effects. I added a little bit of delay, a little bit of reverb, and tweaked those parameters a little bit. Won't get into the specific settings, but basically it's reverb and delay on top of the original sample, and this is what it sounds like. So now I have my sample, I added reverb, I added some delay, and next thing I wanted to do was, I knew I wasn't going to want to play it through the same way the entire track, so I decided to go through and sample it and chop it up into bits and into different sections. So I can go find that. So you can hear it. I got it just chopped up. So now I had the sample, I did some rearranging with the chops that I made. I kind of gave it a pattern. And once I did that, then that's when it's time to start adding on some drums. So I always start with kick and snare. It's the easiest for me to get a vibe going down, and everything else I start using filling in from there. Started out with just my kick and my snare sitting on top of my samples I just played. Bringing my clap on top of that drum, on top of that bass kick. Then I'm bringing my snare on top of the bass kick. Hi-hat. So that was my basis to the beginning of. That's basically I guess you say the heart of the song. I got my sample, which is driving it. I got my drums now starting to give it a lot of rhythm. And after that, I started stacking some piano type sounds with some effects on those as well. So let me just bring those in. So once I have my sample, I have it chopped up how I want it to be chopped up, and now I've got my drums added on top of it, your kick and your snare, which is again what I always use to get my flow started, to get my rhythm going. Then I go back in, add my hats, add some different effects, seal claps maybe, and start filling it out from that point. But once the sample is done and my basic drums have started, you have a lot of the feel of the song already present, and then you just start filling it out. So my drum pattern by itself with the sample sounds like this. So those are my basic drum patterns. So then the next thing I do is I play around with the presence of the sample. As the song moves forward, as you can hear, the way I'm using the sample does change the different parts of the song. But now I'm also about to change up my drums, and I'm also beginning to bring in some other instruments to help fill the song all the way out and fill up that spectrum. So let me add these in. You see, bring that in. Bring in my D. All right, let's check it out. Well, let me first show you the sound. As soon as I find it. So those are the two sounds that I used. Didn't use those same keys, but that's the basics of the sound. So now you're about to hear the drums change up, and then you're going to hear some other instruments come in with it. Back up a little bit. So there you have the bass. So what I did there was, we're getting closer to my hook, so I wanted to keep the song going and kind of let the user, or let the listener know that the song is about to change and kind of get you ready for it. So I cut out the 808, I replaced it with the bass, so I still keep some presence in my low end, but it also lets you know the transition is about to happen, and then we're going to go into the hook. You'll see how I reuse the sample, change that up a little bit, change up my drums a little bit, and also you'll hear some other pianos and other effects in the background. Let me just give you a quick sample of those sounds. So it's like an old Western style piano. So check it out as we go into the hook. I'm going to take you back a couple bars, and we're going to go all the way through the hook. So at this point, you've heard most of it. Throughout the rest of the song, I'm going to reuse a lot of those concepts, reuse a lot of those patterns, maybe switch up their order, or maybe switch up what sounds are more present than others, maybe even cut some sounds out. But that's the basis of the beat, and you can check out the full beat right after this.